Just some time back, Miran was perfectly fine. Gordon and Miran were in the forest following the trail of bodies of dead Hetty to locate the leader. Gordon was examining one. The organs appeared to be ripped out. They have never seen anything like that before. They wondered if the two of them alone can handle this situation. While discussing, Miran sensed an extreme bloodlust. The pack leader appeared out of nowhere. It was killing its own to obtain heron. Its mouth was full of them. "We cannot let him escape." Miran shouted for Karina's Hetty to block the leader as he drew his sword and, with a swift motion, plunged it into the leader Hetty. Leader Hetty became even more ferocious and used the herons in his mouth to become stronger. Miran was pushed back. Gordon asked Miran to retreat, but Miran couldn't back down. He had to save Karina. Back in the manor, Gordon narrated the events in detail, still blaming himself. Thanks to Karina's potion, Miran was out of danger, but his condition stays grave. Karina had drawn many potions trying to save his life at the cost of her own. She collapsed right after the didn't wake up since. Carlos sighed. Karina seems stressed. She needs to be monitored too. Karina ended up waking before Miran and constantly kept him company, waiting for him to get well. Dr. Winston assured Karina that he will do his best to treat Miran, and Karina just smiled, thanking him. But a storm was brewing in her mind. She thought that once Miran wakes up, he must never suffer for her sake. If clinging to him brings ruin to everyone, then let them fall into despair. I don't care anymore. Karina walked away in a daze, not noticing Miran's fingers twitch. As she approached her room, a mad feeling to draw arose in her. She seems to have losing her mind. Hurry, hurry. She ran to her room. Miran will be fine this time, she knew, but she also knew that once he recovered, he will go to the forest again. I'll just give him no reason to. I'll kill Herta, the pack leader, and all the monster it commands. Karina thought as she kept drawing faster and faster, breathing life into the painting. In a mad daze, she drew and drew. Carlos came to inform her about Miran's awakening, only to see her painting in a crazed state. I have found a way to stop Miran. I just don't want to let him get hurt. It's my one selfish wish, she muttered as she finished her work with the last stroke. Don't tell me, another miracle of creation. Carlos panicked, rushed to stop Karina, but it was too late. He is mine. No one can take him from me. Karina finished her painting and invoked the miracle, immediately collapsing. In the northern forest, the wall at the end of the winter suddenly cracked and broke apart. A red dragon emerged from it. I thought my life had ended, but I can feel life flowing again. Who brought me back? The dragon thought. It was not a mere beast, but an highly intelligent creature. Then its mind showed him with few images. It realized the wish of the person who revived it. The dragon clicked its tongue. What a cruel master, telling me to kill those who are like my own children, but he still decided to comply. It's time I take back what is mine. The dragon flew in the sky and roared at the forest below. Back in the manor, Miran was already awake and moving, feeling much better, even complaining about too many bandages when a loud beastly roar shook the manor. What is this bloodlust? I have never felt anything like this before. Miran was alarmed. At that time, Carlos rushed in with the collapsed Karina in his arms. Miran, Karina is dying. A sense of dread filled Miran as he took Karina in his arms. What nonsense are you spouting? Fumbling with his words, he told Miran that Karina created a miracle, something beyond the imagination of humans. She created a dragon. Why would she? Don't you understand? It's all to stop you. Karina said this is the only way to stop you, because you will rush into the forest again, risking your life for her. For Karina, your life is more precious than her own, Carlos yelled. He knew that neither of them did anything wrong, they just care and want each other too much. Before Miran could say anything else, the dragon's roar echoed again. Foam, bring the sword and come with me. He walked out, still carrying Karina. Miran, your condition. You can't fight, Carlos reminded, but he ignored him. Once outside, he saw the dragon flying towards them. Carlos, is that the dragon Karina created? Miran asked. It more like she revived something that was already there. Did your land had a dragon? Carlos ached. It was just an old legend. Miran could smell the overwhelming scent of blood in the air coming from the northern forest. It must have fulfilled Karina's wish. Did she ask for it to massacre all the beasts in the forest? If Karina created it, it might not harm us, said Carlos. She revived something too massive. If we had ran one heron, we could have tried something, he thought, regretting. Is there a chance the dragon has heron? Miran asked. Are you courting death? Then what do I need to do to save her? Miran asked with heartbroken look. I'll try to find something, Carlos said, but Dragon was already upon them. Miran devised a plan to eat the dragon's heron and handed Karina to Carlos, but Dragon spoke first. Is that the master who breathed life into me? It asked. Fortunately, Miran and Carlos could understand its words. Is Karina your master? Miran asked the dragon while Dragon scrutinized him. So you are the human from my master's wish. Karina asked the dragon to annihilate the beasts and protect Miran. Don't worry, human. I promise I will do nothing in your territory. It informed Miran of Karina's wish and also that Karina will not live more than 3 days as a result of pouring her soul into it. If I kill you, can Karina be saved? Miran asked, but the dragon just laughed. Mere mortals dares to kill me. Amusing, but even then it's impossible. My master has already paid the price. Those blessed by the god of art usually do not have good ends. God of art? Carlos wondered. Yes, the god of art is quite problematic. He believes that outstanding art is created amidst endless pain and solitude. That bastard bestows upon his chosen ones both the blessing and eternal solitude at the same time. The dragon informed. Just for that reason, Miran was angry. Sompi angry there were artists who, despite receiving blessing from the god of art, learned of love from affectionate parents and lived a good life. They learned to handle their power and live to the old age. Wait, but I never heard of such a creator in any record, Carlos said. That's because there is no need to recount it, is there? The dragon replied. They simply grew up like a normal child and died after living a normal life. Ch 79. A child who did not receive love when they needed it, cannot endure the solitude and has no choice but to dedicate their entire being to art, the only thing that understands them. Conversely, a child who received plenty of love does not need to confine their life solely to art. Because humans, even if they fall or lose their way, are beings who can walk again as long as there is hope or guidance. They can get back up even if they fail and despair. Then art disease isn't an incurable disease, Carlos murmured. Well, to the unfortunate it is no different from an incurable disease, replied Dragon. Miran felt extremely angry on Karina's behalf. Karina was not given that kind of familial love, only a selfish family that always demanded sacrifice. What's the use of hearing this prevention method now? He yelled, frustrated. Regrettably, it already happened, Carlos added. Is there no other way to get heron? Miran asked. Heron? Dragon was confused. Heron is a stone that comes out when you kill a beast. Do you know about it? Carlos explained while Butler Fong took out a piece. They had to show it to the dragon. The Dagon recognized it. It seems to be the mana that escaped from me when I died, which hardened like a stone over time. The demonic beasts must have eaten them as sustenance. Dragon said further. It explained that a dragon is almost close to being a god, but their physical body have poor affinity with divinity, so after living for 10,000 years dragons sheds their shell and only their soul ascends to the realm of gods. And to live for those 10,000 years dragons accumulate mana to create a dragon heart, which possesses immense life force and is the source of mana. And those stones are the dregs of it. Miran was startled. He now understands why the beasts never die. It's because of the immense life force. Then a thought crept into his mind. If he takes the dragon's hearts and give it to Karina. Calm down, it's obvious what you are thinking. The dragon said, halting Miran's thoughts. A human body would not be able to withstand the power of my heart, so it's useless. Then what do we do? Karina is dying, Miran screamed desperately, at the verge of breaking down. I can share a portion of mana equivalent to the life force of a heron, the dragon said, surprising everyone. However, my mana does not restore the lost lifespan. It's just a source of energy that can extend the time she can live by some time. Moreover, a fragile human heart can receive my mana only once. Because it will forcibly turn human heart to something like a dragon heart, the process will overload the body. Also, because dragon's power has poor compatibility with divine, the god's blessing will vanish and she will no longer be able to create miracles. Such information was unbelievable to everyone. Of course, she can still create art like normal, just not the miracles, said the dragon, igniting hope in everyone's hearts. Miran fell to his knees, almost begging the dragon. If we do that, how long can she live? He asked, trembling. 5 years. Will you change her heart for 5 more years? Dragon asked, looking at Miran. 5 years. Miran couldn't believe his words. He thought it would be just few more days. Is it possible? He asked. Yes, if I carefully inject the mana to her limits, then she can live for 5 more years at max, Dragon confirmed. But his statement made it clear that no matter what they will do, Karina's death was certain. A limit of 5 years was truly cruel. Why does she have to die? Filled with despair, Miran felt his anger rising again. It must be her fate. She went mad from the blessing of the art and didn't receive her parents' love, that's all. All Miran wanted was to see Karina happy, even if her past was unspy. He hoped that her future would be happy for a long, long time. She possessed such a kind heart and suffered for so one only be end up dead. But if what you are saying is true, how come demonic beasts kept reviving even when their hearts were destroyed as long as they had Heron? Carlos asked, trying to better understand the situation. That would be because the Heron, the core of the heart, was not destroyed, Dragon said haughtily. As long as Heron is intact they will continue to revive, and if the Heron is taken they can never revive again. So Karina too? Yes, it's same for my master. Her heart will keep regenerating. If there was no limit to mana a human can accept, then a life of immortality would also be possible. However, human body is fragile. Dragon wanted to say more, but noticed someone staring from far. The figure immediately ducked away when Dragon glanced over. Anyway, make your decision, Dragon asked. Do we have to decide now? Miran asked. There is no hurry. I'll go see the changed world. You decide by the time I come back. With that, the dragon gathered the mana and gifted the Heron to Miran. All you have to do is cut her flesh and place this on heart. You don't have to choose immediately, but you don't have much time. With that, the dragon flew away, leaving behind the gust of wind. Miran took Karina back in his arms. He knew this is the only way to revive Karina, even if it's only for 5 years. But he also knows that her life will be different after revival. She will not be like other humans. He wonders if Karina will be happy to live like that. After reaching the room, he asked to be alone, and finally the tears he held back for so long, ch80, flowed freely. He begged Karina to live, not to leave behind. Miran blamed himself for letting things come to this. If only he had done better? He wanted to revive Karina, but was also scared. What if Karina hated him for reviving her like that? Meanwhile, Norton was in his room panting heavily. He recalled the moment Dragon looked at him. He ran away as fast as he could, but he clearly heard what it said. He had often heard the term Heron, but no one would tell him what it was, but now he knows that even immortality was possible with he. Miran was gravely injured, but just now he looked completely fine. They are also talking about saving the dying Karina. He wonders if Heron can really cure a dying person. If it's possible, then can he also cure Abelia? A realization hit him. If he can use a Heron properly, his teacher will also be impressed and might even return his medical license. Norton's face turned mad. I felt sorry for Lady Karina, but isn't it only right to prioritize a young child over a grown adult? My teacher will understand too. He talked to himself, losing all sense of reasoning, and embarked on a mission to find Heron. Norton arrived in Dr. Winston's room and started looking for Heron. Normally, he wouldn't be allowed in the main building, but maybe due to the dragon, the security was lax. He still couldn't believe it that there was a dragon in the north who can even speak. What are you doing here? Butler phone caught Norton snooping around in Dr. Winston's room. I am looking for my master, Norton said, but such excuses weren't able to fool the wise butler. A proper student wouldn't go snooping around in their master's empty room. Besides, you already severed ties with him, the butler said, putting on his guard. My master is kind. There is just a misunderstanding. So he is kind, that's probably why he didn't kick you out, thought Butler, but Norton kept rambling. If I can just treat Abelia and develop a universal cure? A universal cure? The butler was confused. Yes, even in North, if something so valuable is being monopolized, the imperial family won't sit still. I don't know what you are talking about. Don't play dumb, Norton yelled. I am talking about Heron. You do realize that's the only way to save Karina. Fong understood that Norton witnessed everything that happened, and there was no point in playing dumb. It's the North. We can always get more Heron. Ladies, Karina's younger sister is sick too, and there is much suffering in capital. If we can make a universal cure, enough. What you're saying is aching to sacrifice Lady Karina.
Norton tried to explain, but Butler shuts him down, leaving with a warning. Karina opened her eyes and saw crying Miran by her side. She felt weak and couldn't move her body. Her sight seemed blurry, but she gathered all her strength to call out to him, Miran. Karina? Miran looked up. Good morning. She tried to smile but she just didn't have enough energy. I want to hug you but I can't lift my arms, she said lightly. Then I'll hooey you instead. 81. He lied down near her, holding and kissing her hand. How are you feeling? She asked. I am fine. I just wish you'd take better care of yourself instead, he said, his face stained with tears. Hee. I think I love you more than I realize. What do? I don't want to say goodbye, Karina said. You're going to live, so don't worry, Miran replied, but we didn't get Heron right. That's true, but you awakened the dragon that was sleeping in this land, and that dragon ate up all the beets of the forest. Was that you wish, Karina? I just didn't want you to push yourself for me. Thank to that I'm fine, but you were crying. That's because my heart hurt too much. Karina, please don't do that again, but I only did it for you. Yes, but don't do that. What about the dragon? Karina asked, changing the topic. It's fine, it didn't vanish and we even had a conversation, and it gave us Heron. It also told us how to save you, Miran said, reluctantly avoiding her eyes. Karina understood. Even if I am going to survive now, I'll die soon, right? No, you won't die, you'll be able to live for 5 more years, that's good, right? Then why do you look so gloomy? Because in exchange you'll never be able to perform miracle again. Karina thought for a while but seemed undisturbed. You never liked it anyway, but you liked it, that because miracles were the only air hole I found when I felt like I was suffocating. When I struggled, they held me. When I cried, they comforted me. They gave me exactly what I wanted and when I needed it. They saved lonely me, but now I have you, even without paying any price. You're always there, so it's okay, Karina explained, but Miran still didn't look okay. Is there something else? She asked. Just tell me. So Miran explained everything to her. You'll get temporary immortality, you'll live a life different from normal people. Even so I still want you to live, Miran said resolutely. Karina, I am selfish, will you hate me? You're telling me you'll become a monster? Karina understood Miran's heart and his reasoning. Even if I become a monster, you'd never abandon me, right? She said with a smile while tears flowed on Miran's face. I'll never abandon you, he kissed her softly, so let's live. Miran waited till Karina fell asleep and kept checking for her heartbeat to make sure she is still alive. But he didn't have much time. It was time to conclude the story. Everyone gathered in the study to discuss Karina's situation. What should we do about Norton? Butler asked. It's my fault, I should have kicked him out, Winston sighed. Did he not hear that Karina would die without Heron? Miran asked. It seems he heard but thought there would be another Heron? Butler explained. Banish him from North, Miran decreed. And take care of him quietly. The price for stepping his bounds and touching what shouldn't be touched should be paid with his life, Miran added with a dark expression. Winston, I am sorry but I can't let such a person live. I understand, Winston said and took his leave. So didn't you AKS Karina? Carlos asked once only him and Miran left in the room. Yes, Karina said she wanted to live, then we must start preparations. Karina was drifting in the dark when she heard her name being called but her body felt too heavy to move. Miran was desperately calling for her. She wanted to get up or say she was okay. She wanted to open her once. She felt that this might be her last moment and wanted to tell Miran something. She had promised Miran that she will see him in morning and she wanted to apologize for not keeping her promise, that she was happy with him and because of him she came to know how beautiful life could truly be. She felt that it was okay to die if she could feel it one more time, so Karina put all her strength in this finally moment and opened her eyes. Her eyes had changed color to golden, like she was performing a miracle again. They looked dull, lifeless. Miran, I love you, she said, and Miran also realized that this might be her last moment. Ever since I was born into the world, for the first time in my life, because of you, I truly wanted to live. To me, you are my one and only. You showed me that life could be this joyful. Karina's face reflected a myriad of emotions as she talked, that simply waking up in the morning could feel happiness. You taught me all of that. Karina, I feel the same. You made my dull life shine. Because of you, I truly chose to live, to enjoy my life. They shared a tear-filled kiss and Karina said everything that she wanted to say to him. She apologized for not keeping her promise and that she was scared that the last thing she said to him would be a lie. No, don't say that, the dragon will come soon, Miran tried to assure both of them crying. Milan, I'll sleep for a bit, I'll see you in morning, Karina whispered as her breathing became shallower. Miran smiled an indulgent smile, I'll wait for you no matter how many mornings have to pass, take it slow, but please come back to me. Karina Leopold died and only northern nobility were invited to the funeral, and the news of her death quickly spread past the north to the Capita and the south. Among the 4 children of the Count Leopold family, the second daughter with the least presents, Karina Leopold, became a person who no longer existed. On top of that, news of an accident involving their family Dr. Norton was delivered. The Leopold family secluded themselves for a while, and even the management of the family and the territory did not run properly. Nothing came back from their belated regret. This was all that was known to the public. What in the world is this nonsense? You're telling me Karina is dead? Karina's mother frantically screamed at her husband. I also want to believe it's a lie, he replied, sitting calmly on his chair, but all his composure was just for show. Anfridge, say something. Didn't you went to see your sister too? His mother yelled. Didn't Duke Carlos said Karina had heart disease and was dying, Count Leopold yelled back. He took a deep breath to calm himself again. I just heard the news on my way here. I was kicked out so I couldn't even see her face properly. That can't be, that child was always healthy. Karina's mother also deflated and took a seat. She wanted to believe that Karina was healthy, but she couldn't remember. Was her skin milky white or just pale? Did Karina had a small appetite or she just couldn't eat? But if that's the case, shouldn't we be the ones holding the funeral? She said, trying to hold some ground. She said she wanted to cut ties with us, Anfridge told her mother. What can we do? It's our fault for not believing her. Count looked defeated, like a heavy burden was pressing down his shoulders. After going all the way to north, he realized that it was already too late to tune anything back. Even apologizing won't bring her back. She said, we don't even have the right, so how could we hold a funeral? Karina's mother never thought that Karina wasn't her child, but for some reason, she just didn't draw her attention. Because she always did well on her own, she felt there was no need to look after Karina. So she paid less attention to her. While she was in thought, her other children Abelia and Pelton arrived. Sister is dead? They asked, perplexed. You said you would bring her back, so why is she dead? Abelia cried as she ran to her father, hitting him. Sister, Norton, no one came back, please say it's a lie, she cried bitterly. Karina filled a carriage with gold bars, saying it was payment for raising her. Count said, lamenting, she had changed a lot. She looked much more comfortable than when she was with us. Even though she was in pain, she looked happy. He added, consoling Abelia. Dahlia, do you remember when she ever smiled brightly in front of us? He asked his wife, but he was not looking for an answer. I don't remember, he whispered as he left the room full of grieving family members. Miran sat in the room after dealing with Karina's funeral. Miran, things have settled, just as she wanted. The existence of Karina Leopold will disappear, and preparations to bring her back are complete. Carlos informed. Even if she isn't dying forever, this sight is too painful, he added, looking at the lifeless body of Karina lying on the bed.
I will now perform the final surgery, Dr. Winston said as he approached with the heron. Dr. Winston, helped by butler Phone, performed the surgery while Miran and Carlos waited outside. What will you do when Karina comes back? Carlos asked. Get married, Miran replied immediately. Are you sure you won't regret saving Karina? There will be just another ticking clock. The thought of moving forward is too frightening for Meb, Carlos asked. Yes, Karina will die before us. I'll probably regret it hundreds of times, and will be scared every single day, but even so I want her by my side. I want her to live so that pain doesn't outweigh everything else in the life she's lived. Miran wanted to do so much with Karina, like whispering I love you every morning, or traveling together to the sea or the mountain, to do everything she wants. These 5 years Miran wanted to live to the fullest with Karina. The surgery was done soon, Heron settled nicely and her wounds healed instantly. Her vitals were also stable and her responses were normal. Karina wasn't awake, but she was definitely alive. Dismissing everyone else, Miran looked at Karina. Just finding her breathing was a huge relief for him. He couldn't wait for her to wake up, but he could only hope. Before long a month passed, but Karina still didn't wake up. Then more and more time passed, but she never woke up. Many physicians visited and examined Karina, but to no avail. All Miran could do was wait. Good morning, Karina. What should I talk about today? Miran came to see Karina like usual. The season for the first ship to leave the north is coming soon. Ariel said we should come visit when you are well. You wanted to see the ocean too. Miran talked about all the things he could think of. I miss you, Karina, he said, trying to control his overflowing emotions. You can come while taking your time to rest, but please don't stop, Miran pleaded. Karina could hear Miran. She didn't know how long she was like this, but she heard his every word. Alone in the darkness, she drifted desperately, wanting to wake up. Suddenly her eyes glowed golden, and she found herself surrounded by golden threads. When she touched a thread, it invoked a memory of her first miracle when young Karina wanted to draw well so her parents would look at her, a memory where she felt jealous of her siblings for the first time, her engagement, and her good times with Miran. Those memories brought tears to her eyes. It was difficult, but I was happy in the end, she thought. I am glad you were happy. She heard a voice from behind. Who are you? Karina asked as she saw an ethereal figure shining with a divine light. Someone who cares about you the most, she replied. I am the one who gave you the miracle of creation. It's nice to meet you. You mean the god of art? Karina asked. Yes, actually I wanted to take you to Celestial Realm for a long time, but the god of war and even that damn dragon interfered with my plans. On top of that, you whom I cherish the most chose to abandon the power of creation, the god said regretfully. I didn't need power of creation? Karina protested. No way, you used it to understand emotions like happiness and beauty of art. Your loneliness matched your artistic abilities best. You are truly special. You have reached a level no creator have ever reached. Without interference you would have lived the fate I had planned. So lovely. Born for art and died for art, the god said gleefully. Karina thought there was no point in talking to such a self-centered being. She decided to leave this place, and a door of light appeared nearby, startling the god. I have to leave, there is someone waiting for me, Karina said as she walked towards the door. If you leave like this, you'll never be able to use power of creation. Can you live without art? The god asked, looking hurt. Yes, because I found someone more precious, Karina replied resolutely. See you in 5 years. Next time we meet you will pay the price of playing with my life as you please, Karina warned as she stepped into the light. Miran dreadfully entered the room once again, waiting so long for Karina to wake up only to see her asleep every time. He pulled himself together and entered without any expectations, but his eyes widened when he saw a figure sitting on the bed. Sorry for being late, Karina said, smiling. Miran immediately ran to her and hugged her. I missed you. I missed you too. The two shared a passionate kiss, pouring out their grievances. Once both of them calmed down, Miran instantly pulled out a ring and proposed to Karina. Karina, marry me. Whether it's a week, day, or year, the end will surely be frightening, but even so I love you so. Until then, let me stay by your side, Miran said as he hugged her once again. Karina was reluctant. She will die in just few years. Watching me leave first, you will surely feel guilty, she said. Even so, I'll stay by your side. Miran, we might be so tired and exhausted that we might not be happy, she said, but Miran looked determined. Looking back, when I saw your red eyes first time in this mansion, I may have fallen in love. The god said that I had defied fate, so defying one more thing is not a problem. Please marry me. Karina smiled, accepting the ring. At last, after the long winter, the spring came. Karina slowly began to return to her daily life. Whether it was Carlos crying his eyes out at the sight of her, or the northern noble who came to meet her, or even her Hetty, all welcomed her back happily. And for a first time in a while, Karina was experiencing a healthy body, walking without running out of breathing, not coughing blood, not collapsing. Each day was too precious, full of happiness. And soon the day arrived when Karina is going to marry Miran.